Hi Riley, I'm glad that the other videos were helpful. I just was kind of waiting on you going through those ones to see which ones you needed for the review, because there was quite a few on your list for the review, and the videos take a little bit of time to create and then upload and get onto the YouTube. So I've got the probability section highlighted here, and I'm going to go through these questions. And please don't hesitate to ask for other ones. It's just easier if I keep it in small chunks in terms of the videos. So for the probability ones, really what we're doing is considering how many ways there are to do what they're describing compared to how many total ways there are to do something. And so in this case, drawing an ace, for instance, for 17A, if we think about how many aces there are in a deck, there's one of each suit. So there's 4 aces total. So if you've got 52 cards in front of you and you pull a card, then you have a 4 in 52 chance of pulling an ace out of that deck. And then we're just simply putting our fraction in lowest terms now, and we say there's a 1 in 13 chance. And it's as simple as that. For part B, drawing a card that has a number less than 8. So we're considering for cards, there's no 1 or 0 because we call an ace a face card. Well, not a face card, but excuse me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 would satisfy the description for 17B, drawing a card that has a number less than 8. So for each of these, just like with the aces, there's 1 in each suit. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 cards that would be less than 8 in the deck, so 24 of those. So if you've got the 52 cards in front of you, there's 24 of them out of the 52 that would satisfy the conditions that are laid out here. And so in lowest terms, again, 12 over 26 or 6 over 13 would be the lowest terms in terms of the probability for that one. Okay, so when we're looking at question 18, whenever we're dealing with dice, especially when we're rolling a pair of dice, then the dice chart is always something that's really helpful. So if we look at a sample dice chart, I've just got a picture of one here, and I think there's one in your notes for the content for this part of the course. It just gives you the total. If you're rolling 2 dice, it gives you all the possible totals, and so it makes it really easy to count up the probabilities of each total. And so if we're looking at question 18A, and it asks us for the probability of rolling a 7 or an 11, then we can look at the chart and we can say the probability of a 7, and then all we have to do is count them, and you notice that they're all on this diagonal here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibilities. And in this chart there's 36 total possibilities. So we have a 6 in 36 chance of getting a 7. Now the probability of getting an 11, if we go back to the chart and we look for all the 11s, we see 1 here and 1 here, and that's it. So there's a 2 in 36 chance of getting an 11. So we can make our numbers easier to work with and reduce to lowest terms before we begin. And we go back and we look, and there's a keyword here, and it says or 11, okay? So an or in probability means that we're adding 2 probabilities together, and means that we're multiplying them. And so in this case, if we want a 7 or an 11, then what we want to do is we want to say probability of 7 or 11 is 1 over 6 plus 1 over 18, and that's 4 over 18, which is 2 over 9. And so that's how we work out the probability when they're asking for an or kind of a question. So if we look at part B of that question, we're looking for the probability of rolling a 7 or a number less than 5. So we have a head start because we already know the probability of getting a 7 is 1 in 6. And then we have to look for the probability that x is less than 5. And when we're looking for that, we're going to go back to the chart, and we're going to look for anything that's lower than 5, because it does say less than 5, not less than or equal to. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in that chart that are less than 5. And so 6 out of the 36, or 1 in 6. And so when we're doing the probability, it's 7 or x is less than 5. That's kind of a messy way for me to write it. We're going to add these probabilities. 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 equals, and there we're going to get 2 over 6 or 1 over 3 for the total. Okay, so you see how easy it is for these videos to get lengthy. There's 2 more questions for me to cover, and I'm going to do those in a different video just to break it up for you and to make it easier to upload.